Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will turn the pages of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Pride and Prejudice, written by Jane Austen and first published in 1813, is one of the most beloved works of English literature. It is a romantic novel that also serves as a biting social commentary on the British landed gentry at the turn of the 19th century. The story centers around Elizabeth Bennet, a witty and independent young woman, and her evolving relationship with the proud and wealthy Mr. Darcy. Austen's sharp wit, memorable characters, and keen observations of social dynamics have made Pride and Prejudice an enduring classic. Plot summary. The Bennet family of Longbourn, Hertfordshire, lives in relative comfort but faces the pressing issue of securing the futures of 5 daughters: Jane, Elizabeth, Mary, Catherine, Kitty, and Lydia. With no male heir to inherit the estate, Mrs. Bennet is desperate to see her daughters married, especially to men of wealth and status. The family's life takes an exciting turn when news spreads that a wealthy young man, Mr. Bingley, has taken residence at Netherfield Park, a nearby estate. From the moment the Bennets meet Mr. Bingley, it becomes apparent that he is everything a gentleman should be: handsome, affable, and wealthy. At a local ball, Bingley quickly takes an interest in the eldest Bennet daughter, Jane, whose beauty and gentle nature captivate him. His close friend, Mr. Darcy, also attends the ball, but his reserved manner and aloofness earn him the scorn of the local community. Elizabeth Bennet, in particular, is unimpressed by Darcy, especially after overhearing him dismiss her as not handsome enough to tempt him. As Bingley and Jane grow closer, Elizabeth forms an acquaintance with the charming Mr. Wickham, an officer in the local militia. Wickham tells Elizabeth a tale of woe, claiming that Darcy cheated him out of an inheritance. This revelation deepens Elizabeth's dislike for Darcy, reinforcing her belief that he is proud and unjust. Meanwhile, Mr. Collins, a distant cousin and heir to the Bennet estate, arrives at Longbourn with the intention of proposing to one of the Bennet sisters. When Elizabeth refuses his awkward proposal, Mr. Collins quickly shifts his attentions to her friend Charlotte Lucas, who accepts him out of practicality. In the midst of these developments, Jane is invited to Netherfield, but her visit is extended when she falls ill. Elizabeth walks several miles to Netherfield to care for her, raising the disapproval of Bingley's sisters, who look down on the Bennet family's lack of wealth and refinement. Mr. Darcy, however, is quietly drawn to Elizabeth's wit, intelligence, and liveliness, though she remains unaware of his growing admiration. The dynamics shift further when Bingley and his party abruptly leave Netherfield for London, leaving Jane heartbroken. Elizabeth suspects that Darcy and Bingley's sisters have conspired to separate the couple due to Jane's lower social standing. Elizabeth soon visits Charlotte, now married to Mr. Collins, at their home in Kent. There, she meets Lady Catherine de Bourgh, Mr. Darcy's imperious aunt, who takes an immediate interest in Elizabeth but treats her with condescension. During Elizabeth's stay, Mr. Darcy unexpectedly visits Lady Catherine and proposes to Elizabeth. However, his proposal is far from romantic. Darcy acknowledges his love for her, but also insults her family and social standing in the process. Shocked and offended, Elizabeth rejects him outright, citing his role in separating Jane and Bingley and his mistreatment of Wickham as reasons for her refusal. The next day, Darcy delivers a letter to Elizabeth, explaining his actions. He reveals that Wickham is not the victim he claimed to be, but a gambler who tried to elope with Darcy's younger sister for her fortune. Darcy also clarifies that he intervened in Jane and Bingley's relationship because he believed Jane was indifferent to Bingley, and he wanted to protect his friend from heartache. Elizabeth begins to reconsider her judgments, recognizing that her prejudice against Darcy may have blinded her to the truth. After returning home, Elizabeth joins her family in receiving some troubling news. Lydia, the youngest Bennet sister, has eloped with Wickham, risking the family's reputation. The elopement threatens to bring scandal and ruin, but Darcy quietly intervenes, tracking down the couple and convincing Wickham to marry Lydia. He does so at great personal expense, but he keeps his involvement a secret. Soon after, Bingley returns to Netherfield, and his affection for Jane is rekindled. This time, without interference, he proposes to her, and she accepts. As the Bennet family celebrates Jane's engagement, Lady Catherine de Bourgh visits Elizabeth to demand that she refuse any future proposal from Darcy, as she expects Darcy to marry her own daughter. Elizabeth refuses to comply, asserting her independence. Shortly afterward, Darcy proposes to Elizabeth again, this time with genuine humility and affection. He tells her how her rejection spurred him to change, to reconsider his pride and his behavior. Elizabeth, having seen his true character through his actions, especially in saving her family from disgrace, accepts his proposal. They marry, and with both Jane and Elizabeth happily wed, the Bennet family's future is secured. Elizabeth and Darcy's marriage blossoms, built on mutual respect, love, and a shared recognition of their own past faults. The novel closes with the couple living at Darcy's grand estate of Pemberley, where Elizabeth's wit and Darcy's warmth create a harmonious and fulfilling life together. This was just one story. Jane Austen has plenty more for you to discover. Check them out in the description or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Jane Austen's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.